All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, hello, and welcome to NeoBerra's webinar, Move Your Business to the Cloud and Feel Good About It. Thank you for joining. My name is Drew Klanowski, and today I'm going to be leading the presentation about having the confidence and peace of mind to move your IT systems to the cloud. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the question box on the GoToWebinar dashboard that's over on the right-hand side, and we'll address each one of them at the end of the presentation. So first of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about why we're having this session. As an industry-recognized expert in the field of managed IT services, NeoBerra has extensive firsthand experience working with businesses to build and maintain IT infrastructures that can meet mission-critical needs. A little bit about us. We are a trusted provider of complex hosting solutions, specializing in IT consulting and infrastructure managed services. And here we can see a listing of some of our offerings and capabilities across these 5 core areas, which include IT consulting, managed services, data center services, enterprise cloud solutions, which we're going to be speaking about today, and also database services. So the goal of this presentation is to help you better understand how to virtualize your IT infrastructure and some of the implications of doing so. Lately, we've noticed that an increasing number of business leaders that we talk to are interested in moving their IT infrastructures to the cloud. And it's really no wonder, because moving to the cloud can offer a lot of great benefits to just about any type of business. However, we've also noticed that there's a lot of fear and confusion out there about how to build and maintain a secure, trusted cloud infrastructure. So we wanted to have this session to address those concerns and also help business leaders like yourself learn how they can overcome them. So if you are one of the business leaders who's worried about moving to the cloud and that it might be difficult, I think there's definitely some validity to your concerns. Maintaining a cloud environment is an incredibly difficult thing to do, especially if your IT team is not experienced with handling the challenges that are unique to the cloud. Maintaining your own cloud infrastructure requires that you bear the overall responsibility for monitoring your systems, making updates and repairs as needed, and making sure that your organization's manpower and support resources are sufficient to meet the needs of a cloud environment. And that's a lot for one organization to take on, particularly if it's an organization that's moving to the cloud for the first time. So while I mentioned that moving to the cloud can be difficult, it's not impossible. If you work with an experienced partner who understands the maintenance, procurement, and productivity issues that are unique to cloud systems, you can enjoy all the benefits of the cloud that the cloud offers without having to worry about cloud-specific issues standing in the way of an efficient and effective cloud implementation. So to put it simply, a cloud provider, which is essentially a managed services provider like NeoBerra, can help you enjoy all the benefits of the cloud while removing the maintenance and repair burden that would be placed on you and your team if you tried to operate the cloud infrastructure yourself. This allows you to get the high-performance IT infrastructure you need while freeing up your time and attention to focus on running your core business. And by outsourcing your IT infrastructure and focusing on core competencies that make your business great, you'll be in a better position to serve your customers and drive positive business outcomes. So with that said, there are several things to consider when choosing a cloud services provider. Doing the proper due diligence when searching for a provider is absolutely imperative. And before you begin your search, you should come up with a list of pertinent questions to ask each provider to obtain a better understanding of how they operate. Of course, the price of services and storage capacity is important, but perhaps the most important questions will pertain to the security of your data. When choosing a cloud provider, consider asking these 5 questions. Does your organization have formal information security policies, such as acceptable use, incident response, or data classification? Do you require any third-party services or agreements? Number 3, what are your change control policies? What's your systematic approach? Number 4, who has physical access to your data center and equipment? And number 5, how do you segregate my data from my other customers? Important questions. So now let's talk about support. As businesses continue to focus on technology advancements to help with revenue growth and scaling, they must also face the challenge of securing their data. And this task has proven to be much tougher than many believe. When it comes to data security, you can't afford to take risks. Your customers trust that you keep their data safe, and failing to live up to that trust can mean negative consequences for your business. If you were to fall victim to some sort of a data breach, that could cause irreparable damage to your reputation. Working with a cloud service provider that can offer you access to skilled database administrators is the best way to address the many threats facing your sensitive data. These DBAs can make sure the proper security measures are in place, giving you peace of mind and knowing that your customer data is always going to be secure. So let's move on to data storage. These days, data is the absolute lifeblood of any business. There's also more of it being created than ever before, so you'll need to make sure you have a highly scalable database in place that can keep up with the increasing amounts of data. Whether you need to outsource your entire database operations or just need the additional monitoring and support, a cloud service provider can build the solution that works best for you. And as a result, your business can prepare for the era of rapid data growth. It seems like organizations are always asking themselves, oh, how much storage do we need? How much will we need a couple of years from now? Well, one of the main benefits to a private cloud solution is the ability to expand the storage as you go. As you collect more and more data and take on new business or hire new employees, your storage needs will increase. And a private cloud is perfect as it allows you to easily provision more storage on an as-need basis. Another key area to consider when choosing a cloud provider is capacity planning. For those of you who don't know, capacity planning, or capacity management as it's sometimes called, simply means planning ahead to make sure you have all the computing, storage, and network resources your business needs without having to pay too much for those resources. It certainly sounds like a simple concept, but today's IT systems are more complex than ever, so it makes capacity management a real challenge. A cloud provider can keep track of your organization's resource usage, conduct capacity analytics, and also perform what-if tests to account for multiple future scenarios. Then they can use the resources to make hardware purchases on your behalf. This ensures that you'll never have to worry about your business running out of IT resources, but you're not going to have to worry about wasting your money or buying hardware before you actually need it. So today, even minimal downtime can translate to lost revenue, missed opportunities, or failed commitments. And as technologies become essential to business operations, being without any kind of system, application, or data for any length of time can be disastrous. We all know that everybody around us always need access to all their data all the time. An expert designed data backup system can help you avoid this kind of loss. Replicating your company's vital data on a daily basis can also make sure your employees and end users have the on-demand access to the information and systems they need, and that your business-critical data and processes are secured and there's minimal downtime. In order to ensure business continuity, a cloud service provider can help you create a disaster recovery plan by conducting vulnerability analysis of your infrastructure, and then help you address those vulnerabilities with 24/7 by 365 failover protection. So at this point, I'd like to take a little bit of time and talk about a real-world case study of a NeoBerra customer that gained peace of mind and confidence in their IT infrastructure with a fully managed cloud environment. Let's call this organization SuperCorp. SuperCorp had a small IT department and limited resources, and they realized they needed to find a better way to make use of those resources in order to keep up with demand. So here are the issues and challenges at SuperCorp. As I mentioned, they had a small IT department and they were struggling to manage their infrastructure. They needed a fully managed hosted cloud platform, which would include full service management of their network, servers, storage, and databases, and also include 24/7 by 365 monitoring, operating systems upgrades, patching, and problem resolution and remediation. SuperCorp's infrastructure is a critical underlying support component of its operation and business objectives. So their infrastructure, which includes 50 virtual machines, 6.1 terabytes of usable fiber channel SAN storage, and 35 laptops, and all that needed to be migrated to the cloud. However, the lack of documentation of their servers and configuration made it very challenging to determine exactly how those servers are connected and what dependencies may already exist. So here's the NeoBerra solution. NeoBerra proposed a fully managed hosted cloud platform with 24/7 by 365 monitoring, OS upgrade and patching to meet SuperCorp's requirement. And then we also included migrating and architecting implementation of a fully managed cloud environment, providing physical and logical security of all infrastructure and data, implement and backup solution that covered routine, incremental, and full backups, redundant high-speed network connectivity, remote access through VPN, compliance and technical environment roadmap, and that also included any of their Microsoft updates, 24/7 monitoring, mutually agreed and published maintenance and outage schedule, which was very important for SuperCorp, high availability and redundancy across the infrastructure and all application components. And then we also transferred SuperCorp's existing licenses and Citrix and VDI monitoring, patching, and problem resolution and remediation. So we developed an implementation schedule and designed an architecture to ensure minimal downtime of systems as they were transitioned to the new data center facility. The project was implemented in 3 phases. So let's take a look at each of those 3 phases. They included phase 1, planning and design, phase 2, setup and migration, phase 3, operations and managed services. And NeoBerra provided all the services needed to set up the new infrastructure environment for SuperCorp and also execute the migration effort for all hosted and managed options. The migration was completed over a period of 3 weekends, which minimized the amount of downtime incurred during the migration for the company. So phase 1, planning and design. The NeoBerra team worked closely with key stakeholders and with SuperCorp's IT team to gather requirements and design each component of the solution spanning across server, storage, network, and security. You can see here the requirements that were gathered through the following areas, which included server build and design, monitoring, and server load balancing. Phase 2, setup and migration. The NeoBerra team worked closely with SuperCorp's IT team to implement the architecture and design that was developed in phase 1, and then handle the overall migration and cutover strategy that was developed to the objective of minimal downtime and execute the smooth transition. And the 3 key steps here were physical to virtual migration of the servers, testing and validation of the solution, and also staging and validation of migrated data. And then finally, phase 3, which was operations and managed services. After SuperCorp's environment was migrated to the NeoBerra cloud, NeoBerra began actively monitoring the servers, databases, and network to identify and resolve any infrastructure problems before they would impact critical business processes for SuperCorp. And NeoBerra provided all the services needed to set up the new infrastructure for SuperCorp and executed the migration effort for all hosted and managed options. Our initial setup service and services included installation, powering, network, configuration, and all infrastructure components. And then we also recommended server upgrades as needed, and we identified any single points of failure. We mitigated those areas and made recommendations to diversify server configuration so they were not totally dependent if there was, in fact, any kind of server failure at any point. So the new cloud-based IT environment allows SuperCorp to operate more efficiently and therefore provide better experience for their end users. At the same time, support and monitoring from NeoBerra's knowledgeable team of engineers helps SuperCorp feel confident in their IT infrastructure. In total, the 50 servers and 35 laptops were migrated over to NeoBerra's cloud, and with more experienced engineers monitoring SuperCorp's infrastructure on a 24/7 basis, IT worry and headache were eliminated, which freed up SuperCorp's staff to focus on other tasks. In addition, server efficiency was improved significantly, allowing SuperCorp to deliver better services for their end users. So the main point I'd like to get across with this webinar is that you can feel confident about your decision to move to the cloud, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You need to be proactive by protecting your systems. So choosing a trusted cloud provider that can professionally implement and manage your infrastructure, provide dedicated 24/7 monitoring, and rapidly respond to address any kind of issues that arise during the monitoring process. And with that said, NeoBerra provides 3 cloud platforms: private cloud, hybrid cloud, and custom cloud. While all three options can provide peace of mind through dedicated monitoring, advanced data security, regulatory compliance, and the flexibility to handle temporary spikes in activity, there are key differences between the three models. So getting a closer look at the details may be helpful to try and decide which option might be best for you. So let's take a look at them. First, we have private cloud. Our private cloud solution is really best for organizations that want to set it and forget it, have that approach to the cloud. And this is basically a complete full-service cloud platform that includes on-demand access to the latest hardware and software. And in short, it offers everything an organization might need to get a better performance out of their applications by moving to the cloud. The virtualization infrastructure offered by private cloud is fully redundant, which helps to ensure maximum uptime. Also, since private clouds are not shared with other tenants, they're a good choice for organizations that are particularly concerned about data security. The next option is the hybrid cloud. And this option is the one you would choose if you wanted the flexibility to hang on to some of your previous infrastructure investments. The reason it's called hybrid cloud is because it allows you to connect your existing co-located or dedicated IT environment with a new cloud environment. As a result, you get the best of both worlds, the ability to retain the physical hardware that you know and love, so to speak, while also taking advantage of the scalability and efficiency offered in the cloud. And then finally, there's the custom cloud model, which is best for organizations that want to have complete control over and design a cloud with the resources and functionalities of their choosing. Like other cloud options, the custom cloud offers organizations the fully redundant virtualized infrastructure that they need to ensure security and uptime. The difference here is that the final product will be explicitly designed to meet the specific needs of the organization. So no matter which NeoBerra cloud option you choose, you'll still get the migration help you need to make an easy transition. You'll have an industry-leading network available to you, server, storage, and backup infrastructure, and also a fully redundant virtualized environment and 24/7, 365 monitoring and support. So at NeoBerra, we apply industry best practices and enterprise-grade technologies to keep your critical systems operating at peak performance. And we've been helping everyone from associations and nonprofits to Fortune 500 companies get the best results from their IT infrastructure since 2001. We want to put that experience to work for helping you take the worry out of running your IT systems so you can focus on your business goals. And that's why we'd like to offer a complimentary cloud assessment. By identifying the vulnerabilities that exist in your current system, we can tell you how to address those issues and transform your existing IT infrastructure into a scalable configuration that enables future growth and greater end user satisfaction. So if you're thinking about migrating to the cloud in the near future, we can also help you build a strategy that would allow you to carry out the most efficient and worry-free migration possible. And to take advantage of that offer, we'd just like you to get in contact with us. So it was quick and easy, folks. Let's take a look. It looks like we don't have any questions currently. I'm going to give you a minute here to see if we have any questions. Again, feel free, if you have any of those, to type them into the questions box on the dashboard. And I'm more than willing to address those, or you can reach out to me directly after the webinar is completed. All right, looks like no questions. I guess I did a thorough job today. So I'd like to thank you again for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Should you need to, or if you have any interest in sharing it with anyone else, or you wanted to view it again, it will be up on NeoBerra's YouTube channel. And if you have any additional questions, you can feel free to reach out to me directly at drewklanowski@neoberra.com. You can see it there on your screen. Or also feel free to give me a call at 703-462-1832. Oh, we may have a question here before we go. Yep, you know what, Gary? I'm gonna address your question directly. Okay, we'll address that offline. So again, folks, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can also visit us at neoberra.com, and there's a link there to our YouTube channel again if you wanted to view this presentation again. So thanks, folks, and Gary, I'll be in touch.